That's not a Nazi salute. It's a awkward thing that he did to say, my heart to you, that then gets deliberately misinterpreted.
We have the second part because the first part was just so good. We got Piers Morgan Uncensored with Cenk Uygur and Andrew Wilson going nutso on each other on Piers Morgan Uncensored. Let's just start rolling it.
On the temperature by turning to Nazi salutes. Cenk, you said about Elon Musk. Let's take a look at what he did, just to remind everyone who may not have seen it.
This one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
Now, Cenk, you said it was the most obvious Nazi salute you'd ever seen, which I think Hitler might be a bit surprised about, but you don't actually believe
that, did you say? Oh,
yeah, but Cenk, just to be clear, you don't actually think he's a Nazi, do you? So how can you make a Nazi salute if you're not actually a Nazi and, in fact, absolutely hate everything they stand for? That's not a Nazi salute. It's a awkward thing that he did to say, my heart to you, that then gets deliberately misinterpreted as a Nazi salute by people who keep wanting to call everyone on the right a Nazi.
No. So Elon Musk is trolling. So this is a classic right-wing maneuver. It's to get attention, and he knows that if he does a Nazi salute, but he says, oh, but I touched my heart, and I can't believe they're calling me a Nazi. I'm the victim. The left wing is coming after me just because I did the most obvious Nazi salute of all time. Now, the left is angry at me because I'm not calling him a Nazi. I think he's trolling. I think he's doing it for attention. And he does his plausible deniability. It's the oldest trick in the book coming from the right wing. In fact, when you get upset at the right wing, they usually go, he's just trolling, right? So that's what happened there. That wasn't subtle. And again, I have credibility here because when they accused so many people of doing this, I said no. When Laura Ingraham was at the RNC and she raised her arm and they're like, that's a Nazi salute. I'm like, that's not a Nazi salute. She just raised her arm. Everybody raises their arm. He did that so crisp, so sharp, exactly like the way that they did in the Third Reich. That's not an accident. He's a smart guy. He's doing it to get us to do this segment and for the inauguration to all be about Elon Musk. He's swallowing.
That guy's a complete idiot, dude. Like, are you dumb? And hit the sub button. That would help me out tremendously. Let's go.
Up all the attention.
I think that is the biggest load of cobblers I've ever heard in my life. But Andrew, over to you.
Yeah, so it is.
Okay.
So
oh my God! No! Don't criticize what is so freaking obvious. And what if he put a Nazi? He put a swastika on his forehead. You guys would be like, no! It does. It's not what it appears. It's not what it appears.
Calm down, Cenk. Calm down.
Yeah, go ahead.
Again, didn't interrupt you.
Andrea, go ahead.
By the way, it's great to have the old Cenk back, by the way, just for the record.
Yeah, I didn't interrupt you, Snake. Just calm down for a second. Let me respond very quickly.
Andrea.
Okay, so we have tons of evidence that Elon Musk isn't a Nazi. Kanye West, I don't know if you remember this,
but
he ran for political office. When he released a swastika, it wasn't even a swastika, it's just something that looked like one. Musk banned him for it. Musk just went through and did a massive purge. He just went through and did a massive purge of all sorts of people who were considered Nazis or that the left had been calling Nazis on Twitter. It's a big thing right now. All the evidence points to the fact not only is he not a Nazi, but there's no good incentive for him to even do this. What's the incentive? You say, well, it's a dog whistle. He's trolling. He's just funning this and that. No, this is very common, by the way, for people to make this hand gesture. I have it from AOC. I have it from Clinton. I have it from all of these various people.
In the 1930s.
And the thing is yeah, I have it from all of the Democrats. You can draw side-by-side comparisons. People have been showing you them nonstop. You just don't care. You don't care because you want it to be some trolling Nazi thing when it clearly isn't.
Then why did I defend all the other right-wingers when they raised their arms like that? Then why did I defend all the other right-wingers when they raised their arms like that?
Because the same reason you defend left-wingers when they do.
That was the clearest Nazi salute. And by the way, I literally said, even if he put a swastika on his head, you guys would find an excuse for it. And then, hold on, and then you said about Kanye, when he put a swastika on his head, it wasn't really a Nazi symbol. I mean, you proved my point over and over again. So it's a delight debating.
I didn't say it wasn't a Nazi symbol. I said a swastika. I said it wasn't an actual swastika, but it looked enough like one. that he banned it.
Okay, so
I didn't say
there you
anything
go
about
again. I mean, it's a swastika, but not really, because So look, even
Yeah,
Nick
symbols
Fuentes,
actually
an
look
avowed
like actual
neo-Nazi
symbols because they're
today,
actual
said
symbols.
It's an absolute Nazi salute. Yeah. So look, guys.
No, he didn't
you
say
guys
that.
are
You just made it
fighting
up.
against a ghost.
I mean,
Cenk,
Cenk, as
he
he did
didn't
it,
make a Nazi.
as he did
didn't
it,
make a
Cenk,
Nazi
he literally
salute.
says, "From my heart to you," or whatever the words were, right?
Yeah.
He literally tells
Touches
you
his
what he's
heart.
doing.
Yeah, that's
from
the
my heart
plausible
to you.
deniability. Of course.
Nobody,
Of course. Do you
nobody
think, Piers,
actually believes.
Piers,
Hang on, Cenk.
Piers,
No, Cenk, hang on.
you're a
Cenk,
sophisticated
nobody
media
actually,
person.
including
Do you
you, by the
really
way.
think he would have said, "This is for the Third Reich"? No, of course he's going to have
He
plausible
would if he was a
deniability
Nazi.
and make up an excuse. You
Yeah.
know that.
If he was a Nazi, he'd say, "Heil Hitler. This is for you, the Third Reich. My love to you."
Yeah.
Yes, because he would be an actual Nazi.
you.
Instead, he's a
Well,
guy
first of
who
all,
literally
Piers,
a few
you're
months
fighting a
ago
ghost.
went to Jerusalem. He went to Jerusalem. He
Yeah,
went to the.
but again,
and then he went down to the.
But
he went
Piers,
down to
two
the
things.
kibbutz,
Number
which
one,
was
you're fighting a
annihilated
ghost.
on
I
October
didn't
the
say
7th.
he was a Nazi.
He literally went
I didn't
to the
say he was a
scene
Nazi.
of the
You
massacre
keep going back
of
to he's
Jewish
not a Nazi.
people on
It's
I'm
October
saying
the
he's
7th.
doing it
Cenk,
for
it's inferred.
attention, and you know that, Piers. As a guy who loves attention,
not true.
you know he's doing
I
it for
don't.
the attention.
I don't
so
know that,
stop making
'cause
an
it
argument,
didn't happen.
debating an argument that I didn't even make.
There is absolutely no way in the world Elon Musk deliberately did that to get attention as a Nazi sympathizer.
Yeah.
The whole idea of that is fanciful, delusional, and deliberately,
No, not as a Nazi
deliberately
sympathizer,
manipulative
Piers.
nonsense.
As a person who goes, me, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's trolling. Do you not understand the concept of trolling?
I do.
So you
I'm
do
very good at it
outrageous
myself.
things with plausible deniability so that you could then come and go, oh my God, I got all the attention, plus I'm the victim because they're misinterpreting me.
Yeah, because when
It's
you're celebrating,
Trump's
okay,
oldest
great
criminal
argument,
line.
Cenk.
Learn
So
that
here's-
trick and he's
here's
not
Cenk's
that
argument.
trick.
Cenk, just to be
You're
clear,
having a
hang on.
nonsense debate about
Cenk,
whether he's a Nazi.
just to be clear,
I'm telling you that he did it for attention.
I hear you, but just to be clear, you really think that what he thought would be a good move as he's celebrating Donald Trump's historic second presidency starting, that what Donald Trump would want on the front pages the next day was not a picture of him as the new president, but a picture of Elon Musk doing what you say was a Nazi salute. You think he literally gamed that deliberately to troll people. What part of your brain
So,
thinks
Piers, let
that
me
is
ask you a
even
question
feasible
back.
from a guy who literally lands space rockets in cradles? He's got one of the biggest brains in the world. He was not deliberately trolling people as if he's a Nazi. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, Piers, let me ask you a question back. If you were giving a speech in the inauguration or in the parliament or anywhere, and somebody told you, hey, go say from my heart and do this exact thing where you even almost snap your boots. You know, he just snapped that salute, right?
He won't
would
do
you
it again.
Would you really do it? And I want you to do it right now
I told him,
if you say
no.
you would do it.
I told him, I didn't tell him, but I tweeted, and 10 million people have viewed my post on X, so he'll have seen it. I just said it was very ill-advised of him to do that move. Absolutely.
There you
Because
go. So
very
you think it
ill-advised,
did look like a Nazi
but
salute.
anyone who genuinely believes he was doing it to replicate a Nazi salute is talking complete bullshit. Andrew,
Yeah, and to just respond.
No,
very
but
briefly,
Piers-
I want to bring
Hang
Andrew
on,
in now.
hang
Let
on,
me bring
hang on.
Andrew in. Andrew,
If it didn't
calm
look
down,
like a
Cenk,
Nazi
calm-
salute,
Cenk,
why was it
Cenk, calm down.
ill-advised?
Andrew?
If it didn't look
Calm
like a
down.
Nazi salute, why was it ill-advised?
Andrew, he was ill-advised to
Yeah.
do it, and I'm sure he'll now realize that. It was an ill-advised act.
Okay, good.
So here's the thing too. This was off. This is something that's off the cuff. Cenk's entire argument here is it's trolling. Believe me. That's it.
Yeah.
No evidence, no anything.
None.
All evidence to the contrary.
You don't have
he
evidence
doesn't even
either.
claim he's a.
You don't know
doesn't
what's
even
in
claim
his
he's a
head.
Nazi. It's not my claim. You, the claimer, you bring the evidence. You, the claimer, bring the evidence. Oh, it was trolling. I have no evidence.
The
Believe
evidence
me, though.
is in the
Great
video
argument.
where he does a Sieg Heil
Oh, that's the
salute.
evidence.
And you're saying
didn't
no,
do a
it's
Sieg
not
Heil.
his mind.
Now it's a Sieg Heil.
You read his
Oh.
mind, and he meant really
No,
well by
no,
it.
you are
You're
the one claiming you
that
read
has
his mind. You're the one claiming you read his mind, and it's a troll, bro.
I'm
Believe
telling
me.
you what we all saw with our own eyes and ears. In fact, Piers admits that it looks like a Nazi salute. Piers is on my side on that.
No,
You're
I
saying,
said it was
even
an
though it looks like a
ill-advised-
Nazi salute,
No,
I
no.
read his mind,
Let me be
and he
clear.
meant nothing but warmth.
That's
Let me
what
be
you're
clear.
saying.
It was an
Fire and
ill-advised.
rainbows.
It was an ill-advised.
No evidence.
Movement of his arm because obviously the kickback has shown that. However,
Yeah. Great argument, by the way.
He did
Believe
not
me,
say,
bro.
as you're
Believe me,
saying,
bro.
as you're saying, Cenk, he did not say Sieg Heil because that would have made him a Nazi saluting Adolf Hitler. He said, "From my heart to you. Rather less, I would say, contentious than Seek
He
Heil,
snapped his
which is what
boots,
you
brother.
want people to think he was
snapped
doing.
that salute.
All
Okay,
right,
Piers,
let's
let me
change
ask you
subject.
one more question.
Let's change subject.
If Elon thought, oh my God, that's so ill-advised, I feel so bad about that. If somebody was saying that I did something nice, I said, oh my God, I feel bad about that if it was ill-advised. Why wouldn't he just say, oh, of course I didn't mean it that way. I'm sorry
you know what?
if people perceive it that way.
Check.
But he never does that.
Check.
What does he need to apologize for? He didn't do anything wrong.
If Elon Musk does it again...
But Piers thinks he did something wrong.
No, Cenk, if he does it again in public that way, then he will be trolling people. Because now he knows how it looks.
Okay, deal.
And I don't believe he meant that in a million years. The last Elon Musk, having literally been to the kibbutz where Jewish people were massacred on October the 7th, literally a few months ago, the idea that he would now want people to think he's a
After
Nazi
being pressured to
is
do it.
ridiculous. Anyway, I want to change the subject quickly. We're running out of time. Andrew, many people are saying that what Elon Musk and Trump and RFK, Joe Rogan, all these guys, that there's a kind of new broligarchy that is ruling America. And that's why so many young men in particular, black, white, Muslim, Jew, whatever, all came out and voted for Trump in bigger numbers. Do you feel is it a real thing, the broligarchy?
Yeah, I mean, to put it bluntly, yes, men like things which are masculine, and they're moving back towards masculinity from the social ineptness of the left, saying, "Oh no, all these feminine virtues are great." Men are not happy with that; they're not thrilled about it one bit. Absolutely. I would say that there's a ton of people now who are saying, look, we need to have some type of common sense. We can't have trans kids running around. We can't have this stuff in our schools. We can't have these indoctrination programs everywhere. So it's trying to yield back to common sense. Remember what Trump said in the inauguration. He says, now it is time to go back to common sense. He said that. He also said it's Liberation Day because we're going back to common sense. So yes, I wouldn't say it's an oligarchy or oligarchy, right? I would just say it's a whole bunch of like-minded men who are all saying no at the same time. There's not only nothing wrong with that, but it's been needed for a long time.
Yeah, and Cenk, I agree. I do think that men, for a number of years now, since the Me Too and Time's Up movements, quite rightly held a lot of predatory men to proper account. No problem with that whatsoever. But the pendulum swung so far the other way that every man started feeling like they were predatory until they could prove otherwise. And a lot of young men in particular gravitated to people like Andrew Tate and these kind of more contentious characters because they were crying out for someone to tell them what they should be like as a man. And what it feels to me now is, as Andrew just said, is that you're getting a return perhaps of the pendulum to a place where it's okay to be masculine. It's okay to slightly beat your chest and say, I'm proud to be a man. And I think it is. I think that's been long overdue to have that pendulum come back to where not all masculinity is toxic.
On this one, I completely agree with you, Piers. I think the pendulum swings all the time, and every time it swings, I'm against it when it gets to the extremes, and I get hit by both sides. But yeah, I think that people went too far. Every form of masculinity was being called toxic masculinity, but that's not right. There's things that are masculine that are perfectly great. And, you know, I've said this on many shows. It's kind of a hilarious thing to say, but I'm proud of being a man. I love being a man. And so if we are really progressive and we're on the left, we have to be accepting of everyone and exactly as they are. So if someone's very feminine, great. Someone's very masculine, great. So they're somewhere in the middle. They viewed masculinity and femininity differently, great, no problem. We believe in freedom. We believe in these principles. So I think the pendulum did swing too far. This is definitely the country reacting back. But I do want to say one thing. That term you use is kind of a misnomer because it takes the bros and combines them with the oligarchs. And the oligarchs are different. Like Elon Musk might be a bro, but he's way more of an oligarch. Like the Rogans and the Portnoys are more of the classic bros, and I have a lot in common with those guys. I also have tons of disagreements with those guys. That's normal, but I'm just warning everyone, populist right, populist left, beware of the donor class. And I'm not dead set against Elon or anyone else. As you know, Piers, if he wants to cut the Pentagon, I'll help him cut the Pentagon. He control all he likes. I don't care as long as we get to the right policy and the right things for the American people. But be careful, guys. The donor class has a lot of power, and they want things for their own benefit and not necessarily for the average
I don't
guy.
disagree
Well,
with you.
I gotta give some ground here, where ground is due. You are correct about that. They should be disassociated between the two. Joe Rogan's not like Elon Musk. But I think when Piers is referencing a broligarchy, it's tongue in cheek to say, hey, a lot of these guys are working kind of hand in hand in tandem in order to move a political agenda. And I don't even think any of us would disagree with that. But yes, I agree with you. There are actual oligarchs in the United States. There is a technocratic class which is coming to fruition. Nobody's disputing that. It's how we handle it that matters.
Yeah, and it was quite funny, Andrew, because my team had prepared some of your supposedly controversial, inflammatory quotes about women. And I've just read them, and I'm thinking, I think in the Brave New World, I don't find them that controversial. So I'm just going to read one.
I was a very controversial
One is
person.
the only reason femoids hate my wife is because I tell her to get me a beer and she does. That's the kind of thing I say to my wife and she laughs once she's made my dinner. And then you say women.
And by the way,
find beds to be.
Piers, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Doesn't the beer taste better when your wife brings it to you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And then you said this, and Cenk, I'm interested in whether you agree with this or not. Women find beds to be a centerpiece of decoration. Men find beds to be tools for sleeping. It serves no purpose. I mean, I agree. Cenk?
Beds. He said beds, saying. So like men, when we look at beds, we look at them as tools for sleeping in. Women actually look at them as decorations as well.
Cenk?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's some truth to that. Of course, not all women are the same. Not all men are the same. But my mom would do curtains that didn't cover the windows at all because they looked great.
So here's my point, Cenk. Here's my point.
Exactly.
You know what's interesting? Here's my point. We've reached a point where Andrew Wilson's deeply inflammatory, controversial quotes about women can actually now be laughed at in the tone that I believe they were originally expressed, which is, you know what?
Of course.
It's just a bit of fun. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Women and men can tell little light-hearted jokes about each other, playing up all kinds of stereotypes, and it doesn't matter. People don't need to be shamed,
all the time.
cancelled, vilified, fired from their
Yes.
jobs. We can actually have fun, and then we can actually, by doing that, isolate the people who really deserve to be isolated, who are despicable pieces of work. So anyway, look, we've reached at the end a point of...
And that's the end of it, everybody. I'm glad they're ripping each other at the start. Kind of agreed with each other at the end there. Let me know what you guys think. Are you offended about the wife comments? I don't know. Let me know what you think. See ya.